Hello, hello, hello. Natural entrepreneur Michelle Boshard here in ENTV. Can you hear me? Are you ready for the Natural Success Clinic? I'm so excited to be here this week, you guys. I have got an amazing guest for you. You know, this is the show where we diagnose the limitations to your natural success as an online entrepreneur. And I'm a digital doula who loves to help making your own personal, purpose-driven offer naturally easy, naturally fun, naturally authentic. And so today on the Natural Success Clinic, we're going to analyze the offer ecosystem of Hayley Joy Weinberg. She is an amazing inspirational fashion designer from South Africa. She's an Academy member here in ENTV. And we're just like excited about this because Hayley Joy is like a very, very experienced businesswoman, but she's got a new offer that she wants to develop. And so you guys, this is going to be kind of like a developmental exercise that you guys are going to get to see. But just like every show, first we're going to give you the stats on the entrepreneur, then we're going to let you meet them and hear their story and their hopes and dreams for success, diagnose those limiting factors. And then in the after party afterwards, over in the Natural Entrepreneur Network, we're going to do the prescription coaching solutions that we come up that come up as a result of the diagnosis. So it's anything could happen here today. And I'm really excited for that because I love to help work with people and generate ideas about their business. So I can save them time and money. And so we take a look at the offer ecosystem, and we also take a look at the tech. So I'm going to pull up a little bit of a stat board here for you on Hayley Joy's, history, because she's such an amazing woman, you guys. You will love her when you meet her. She is so inspirational because she sees a need and she fills a need. She is just someone who I think she's the one that I originally heard the term multi-potentialite. Sometimes you get told to niche down and you just don't feel like that's, for you, that you've got so many things to offer. And this is sort of how I feel, where Hayley Joy is a really great example because she has so many things to offer. So she's been in the fashion business for 40 years, and 10 of that she's been selling online, mostly through WhatsApp, which is really cool. And we'll talk with her about that because she's got some innovative stuff that she's done with her product-based stuff. She's got a new offer, though, as I mentioned, with the fashion. She helped them believe in themselves, build self-confidence, give them hope someone actually cared and would honor them, in dressing plus size women, helping them feel honored and helping them, that you don't just have to take whatever, that you can feel beautiful. And with Unstick You're Stuck, which is the new offer, is a knowledge-based product, not a physical-based product. And she wants to help women ask the universe to clarify their direction and reframe their current situation so that they can move forward and they can get unstuck. So she is one of the most positive and resilient people I have ever had the pleasure to meet. I've known her for about a year now. I think she was one of the very first people into ENTV here, you guys. So this is an OG. She works with women between the ages of 30 and 80, but I think she especially likes to work with the 50s crowd, the Gen X, maybe empty nester, maybe having relationship problems, maybe having self-image issues, definitely codependent on drama. Right now, she's focusing the Unstick You're Stuck on UK arena, which I find interesting because she's in South Africa. But she wants to make the Unstick You're Stuck a product for those who want to know how to get out of drama, how to figure out the life lessons, like, why am I here? Like, what is going on? Like, what am I supposed to learn out of this? She wants to be able to help them figure that out. And she wants to shift them from codependency into proactivity in their lives, make them empower them. She is actually not all that into tech apps. She in South Africa there, she basically runs a very successful business off of Zoom and WhatsApp, but she does have Facebook and a TikTok that she doesn't use as much. but I want to introduce you guys to her now because she's amazing and I am just so excited that she's here. So Hayley, I'm going to ask you to come on camera and start your video and just say, oh, I'm so excited you're here. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you. How do I beat what you just said? Oh my word. Sure. Can I just employ you I just want your voice every morning when I open my eyes. I want you saying all those things. Thank you, Mish. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm really excited too, because you were one of the first people that I met here in ENTV, and you just made me feel so safe and welcome. And as I developed my own thing as a business person myself, you were one of the people that really helped me. And you said, hey, no. And you kind of like, I've always been this mentor figure that kind of just takes girls and women under their wings. And tell me about how you got into especially the online portion of your fashion business. I know we're talking about Unstick Your Stuck today, but tell me about that transition from product-based sales and tell us about how successful your business, your product business is, and where you want to see the Unstick Your Stuck knowledge-based product goes. Like, how did you make that shift, and where are you at with moving into online entrepreneurship?
So the fashion business was an easy one because there was a product to sell. And then this little thing called a pandemic arrived. And it was really tricky. Like it was, I'd never known my business to be shut down, with me having no control over it. And I had to step away and I had to take a deep breath and I just had to have great faith in my universe that everything would be okay. And in the transition out of the whole pandemic shock, I realized that I'd been really stuck for quite a while. And I'd kind of just been putting one foot in front of the other. And it got me thinking. And I wrote a blog post called How I Unstuck My Stuck and how I came to recognize my complicity in my stuckness. And I started to really unpack that and I started talking about it. And when I wasn't able to sell clothing, I was doing online sessions with my community, just for all of us who were in shock. And this whole sticky thing came about. And I was just like, there is something in this. Like if I have been able to recognize my complicity and now put into practice getting unstuck, I must be able to take that into a knowledge-based something. And it's been a something for, well, 4 years. And this year I decided I was going to actually take it a step further. So I started a beta Zoom session every Wednesday evening at 7:30, and it's called Collectively Unsticking. And it's a group of women that come together and we just talk about a whole lot of things that keep us stuck, make us stuck, influence stuckness. And slowly we're all starting to own either our complicity in it or own how we're buying into the noise out there. And what I'm doing is I'm sharing with them how I have a very simple philosophy that whatever you put out there is exactly what you're going to get back. So if you're listening to negative noise out there that you have no control over, why are you doing that? And I've seen some phenomenal results just in telling the ladies how at the moment it's ladies only, but just telling them, like, go outside, put your feet on the grass, talk to your universe. It's that simple. And it's just been phenomenal for me to see how me sharing my journey has inspired others to come on the journey with me. And it's interesting because there is a little bit of a crossover from the fashion side of it, because a lot of my community have followed me. And because I deal with women who have issues, I am able to go a little bit deeper with them because of the relationship that we have. And I love that. I love that they trust me enough to start unpacking all of that. So that's how Unstick Your Stuck came to be.
I know that before the show, you had told me, even, there was a twinkle of it, like even 20 years ago, but then the pandemic kind of like crystallizes it. And that's often how purpose-driven passions and knowledge products come to be, because it just keeps coming back round to you. And it's like, I haven't fulfilled this gift. I haven't fulfilled this need. It keeps coming up. So I want to ask you why that, what is it about that thing that keeps bringing it up? What is the deep purpose that you feel that this fulfills in yourself or for your audience?
So interesting. 20 years ago, I had a burnout breakdown, a really, really severe breakdown. I'd never understood how people have breakdowns. I was just the girl that went, go, go, go. I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, and my universe, which I didn't at the time, I wasn't tapping into anything because I was just so working. And the interesting thing is, as hard as I was working, I had serious cash flow problems. So that made it even worse, because you believe when you're working so hard, you should have some money to show for it. And I think my universe just got to a point where it just realized, like, I was never going to slow it down, and I was never going to take a different path. And it hit me really hard, and it took me out. In the coming out of that, I had a moment one day where I was like, I'm going to build a toolbox in my head. I'm going to chuck out all the negative, and I'm going to start to fill it with positive. And I did it, and it was unbelievably successful for me. And I then beta tested it to a group of 18, interestingly on WhatsApp. It must be 15 years ago. And it was very successful. And the feedback that I got was amazing. But I never did anything with it, because it's that thing of, you'll know that it's a fear of, like, can I really pull this off? And the sad thing is that if we don't actually do it, that's why I'm here with you tonight, because I want to have an accountability partner to say, come on, you've got this idea, let's see what we can do with it. But what I realized in 2020, in the height of the pandemic, was it's all good and well telling people to build a toolbox in their head. But if you haven't unstuck your stuck, how do you build a toolbox? And I had this profound moment where I was like, I need to build and stick your stuck. It doesn't have to be long and convoluted. It can be to the point, but you need to stick first.
Right, before you can use the tools. So, and emotionally, so I'm here, what I heard you say was that you need that transition for you was so emotionally powerful that you felt that others should have it. What I talk about when we have these purpose-driven offers, we have our part of it, the why we bring the offer and our skill and how it came about, and all the things and the program details and everything. And then we have the customer, and frequently the customer is, us 10, 15, whatever years ago, but the customer's desire for transformation, that they can't see how to get past it, and the pain point that they have, and they're coming at it from that angle. We've already moved through it, so we can see the pathway. They haven't. But so you bring the why of your own why, but what does it do for you to help these? How do you feel when someone gets unstuck?
So I make myself the client avatar. In everything that I do, I put myself on the other side, and I feel what it would feel like. So when I'm opening this virtual toolbox in my head in a situation, and I'm reacting totally differently to how I would have reacted, and I see the outcome, that in those 3 seconds that I haven't opened my mouth, but I've flipped the lid of this toolbox and then come back to the situation, and it's so different to how it could have been. And that's what I'm sharing. So when I gift somebody and I say to them, just take a deep breath. And I have a very profound saying as well. Take a step back. This is very much part of Unstick Your Stuck. Take a step back before you take a step in. And that, because I've seen how that's worked for the girls that have just, the girls, and I call them girls, the women that have learned to do that. And then they message me and they say, oh my word, I've got this really crappy colleague who has pushed every button in me. And today, I took a step back and the whole thing fizzled out.
And
It's
so
that
that's what
simple.
okay. So it's a yes. Okay. So is that what keeps your feet on the floor about this? That's why this keeps coming back for you, is you really genuinely enjoy helping people, like unhooking these subconscious paradigms is what I'm hearing that they are. Okay. And I love how pragmatic you are. Like, you're no nonsense. It's like, it's like, this is
But
what you actually have to do.
also, a very important thing for me is I need to get something really quickly. I need to be short, sharp, to the point. So what I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to make it as unconvoluted as possible, that you hear it, you feel it, you get it, and you action it. There's no homework and there's no long videos to listen to. And it's very, pragmatic.
Hear it, feel it. What did you
Hear
say?
it, feel it. Yeah, hear it, feel it, action it.
Action. Okay. All right. So you're just like moving straight from concept through your emotional body and then doing it and then building confidence. That's
Because
great. Okay.
that's what's worked for me, is that
Mhm.
I've learned it and now I'm actioning it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm feeding, because I realize that, like, I don't want all the stuff in between. You know what it is, Michelle? We live in a world of instant gratification. And what's happening is, in every facet of our lives, we're starting to want the instant gratification. Even when we're trying to shift ourselves from being stuck to getting unstuck, we don't want long, convoluted stories. Well, some people want to be able to do months and months. Mine is, I want you to get it fast. I want you to be
Yeah.
able to step back before you step in. And I want to give
Well,
you
and
those two.
that whole piece about identity and imposterdom, imposter syndrome with online business is a thing. And when you're overcoming, like, I don't want to be sales, or nobody will buy this for me, or I don't think anybody will really take this seriously, or this couldn't possibly, or somebody else is already, there's so many reasons that we put in why we can't do something, and focusing really in on the things that we can do is actually the psychological piece that you need to build the confidence. When you don't have the confidence, doing a measurable thing is what builds the confidence. So I love that about you. So you guys, we're going to talk about all of the pieces of what a good, any good online offer has, a very strong why, a very clear offer, authentic marketing, consistent sales, and exceptional delivery. So we're going to take a look at each of these, because I know Hayley excels a lot of that, but she's also asking for help on others. So we're going to take a look at that, what it looks like for Hayley around that. But before we do that, Hayley, can you tell me a little bit about what you want to see out of where your business is at now with Unstick Your Stuck? Like, clients, maybe average monthly income about from it, and where you want it to see by when, like maybe 3 months, 6 months, year. What have you got on that?
So I've been running a beta test with a group of women every Wednesday evening, and it was to feel it and to understand what they're looking for. I've also been doing one-on-one mentoring for free at the moment, because, again, I'm doing my own market research. And what I've really loved about it is that when that person's sitting in front of me and let's say they're complaining about how to market themselves, and I'm saying, but you live in a world where you can market yourself everywhere. And then they go, yeah, but I'm a fashion designer, but there's so many fashion designers. And I'm like, no, there's only one of you. So you can say that there's so many fashion designers, but there's only one of you. But you need to build a community. So one particular person that I'm working with at the moment, we've gone from, I can never do video, I'm so nervous, I'm so shy, I can never do video, to last Thursday she put herself on video on TikTok. I was like, yes.
Okay. Okay, so
I
you've got some, you've got some initial beta clients, you've got discussions going on, you got some initial coaching, you're looking towards having a community. Let's get right into your board here. and start building out your offer. Because I think I'm going to just zoom in here once my computer catches up. Sorry, guys. Oh, there it goes. All right. Watch the tech lady scramble. Okay, let's zoom in here. I'm just going to bring this over here. So before we continue on, I'm just going to coach a little bit here for the folks who haven't heard the term offer ecosystem before. Some folks refer to this as a value chain, a client journey. Essentially, online offers are not just having a Zoom call with someone that's doing business online, maybe. But an online offer is a combination, is a system of things. And much like a water, soil, plant, bugs, and insects all work together in a system, so do the pieces of your business. I also explain it like being like a car engine. There's all the different parts, and they all work together in the engine to be able to, move your car. You put in the gas, the clients, and then you can drive where you want to go with the results. So it's a system that works together for you. And so we're going to go through Hayley's ecosystem. But before we do, Hayley, when the clients come to you, what is their emotional state? Let's zoom in on that piece first. When clients start with you, what are they feeling? Like what? Just on the ones that you have working with you now, what do you tend to find?
Lots of negativity.
Okay. And so that's just an overall sense of, life sucks, or what is that?
Yeah, just overwhelmed by everything because they're listening to the noise. And my question I always ask is, can you affect what you're listening to? Can you change it? Can you do anything? And the 99% of the time, the answer is no. And then I'm like, well, why are you
almost like
wasting
a sense of helplessness? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a victim mentality, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. And victim and blaming sort of paradigm. Okay. Okay. And then so when they're through with you, when they're done, Unstick Your Stuck, they are going to not feel that, obviously. Tell me the words that you use to describe, or some of the results you've already mentioned or gotten in terms of emotional outcomes that when they're done working through Stick Your Stuck. What's your intent?
So for me, the vision that I have is I just have wings, because they just start flying. Because once they unstick from the negativity and they start to work on the law of attraction, because I just give them a very simple exercise to do. Every time you're going to do something, when you're in this transition period out of the negativity, just imagine that whatever you put out is exactly what you're going to get back. So if you put out negativity, you're going to get negativity back. Start putting out positivity and see what happens. And it starts to shift massively. And it's so simple. And I think that's where it becomes very difficult, is that people expect it to be a long and involved journey. And it's not.
Right. Lots of therapy clearly required, right?
It's simple. Exactly what you put out is exactly what you're going to get back.
Well,
That's
tell
my
me about
tagline.
that. Tell me about what some of the things that these ladies would have tried already before they come to you exasperated.
Well, the thing is, I mean, lots of therapy, lots of listening to inspirational stuff on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. But I think when you dumb it down is not the right word, but do you know what I mean? When you simplify it and I think if you have a visualization, so I create a visualization for them where I ask them to imagine. So here's the thing. There is a brilliant, I know I'm going to go slightly off topic, but this will round it off for you.
Okay.
There is a brilliant book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Okay.
And in the book, it is a brilliant book. And in the book, he asks the question, if you grew, and I ask this, every single one of them that comes to me, I ask them this question. If you grew this really beautiful garden filled with the most beautiful flowers, would you go and take a watering can and fill it with poison and go into your garden and pour it on all those flowers?
Got you.
So when you're listening to the noise, you are poisoning yourself.
Okay.
And that visualization is huge for them.
So really, it's not just positivity, it's the ability to filter out,
Yeah,
to assess, to stand guard at the door of your mind,
yeah,
in a
that's
sense. Okay.
that's it. That's it. You should actually put that in a frame.
Well, that's a Tony Robbins saying, actually. So, skill of guarding your mind. All right. Yeah, I did business mastery through them. It's pretty good. One of the many things I did during the pandemic as well. So the pandemic was a good thing in a lot of ways, for personal development junkies. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, now that we know, where they're coming from, where they're going through. That's effectively your transformation that you're going to be packaging up and selling as a value, and that is going to answer their pain points on their side of the equation for your business. So, but let's talk a little bit about how, so you know better than anybody how samples work. How do you see giving samples out to people? What are your freebies? What are you comfortable doing? What kind of tools? I mean, is this a book? Is it a PDF? Is it a free course? Is it a, like what? You've got a Facebook page, but I don't believe you have a Facebook group, correct?
No.
Okay.
I don't have a Facebook group for Unstick Your Stuck. But what I
Right.
did, as if you would want to call it, it's free, but you could turn it into a low ticket item, is I created a group called Chasing the Flowers.
Okay.
And there's a whole story attached to that about how you can unstick your stuck when you actually get yourself out into nature. Because there's so many different things. And if anybody knows that, you know that because you share such beautiful photos from your walks in nature. So you know how that works. So that was it. And that Chasing the Flowers was a divine intervention 2 Thursdays ago, because I swore I would never start a Facebook group. Famous last words. And a client told me that she was having a really difficult time, but she was chasing the flowers. And it was like somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, you have to start a group called Chasing the Flowers.
Okay. Well, and I actually forgot to ask folks, when you hear this, how open are you? Like, I know I am. I'm like forest bathing all the time. And like, that is my connection to myself, to my source. And how do you drop us in the chat, how you connect, how you, take a mirror into your own self, how you reflect on and, kind of figure out where your next steps are. What do you think about sticking your feet in the dirt and talking to the universe? Like, do you think that people like that are, should be put away? Or do you, do you have a version of that for yourself? Tell us in the chat. Tell Hayley Joy and I in chat what you do personally. I would love to hear that. And I'm sure she would too. So, okay, so you've got this Facebook group where they're chasing the flowers. Do you have any downloads or any like tips or sheets or things like that you could do? Is that something, do you like, I know how lovely it is to listen to you. So do you like, would you like to be speaking? Would you like to, what are your preferences in terms of like engaging with people? Like how do you like to show up in this?
So I did an experiment. At the beginning of the year, I started a daily Unstick Your Stuck. And I went for 103 days.
Okay.
Some serious, so I've got all of that information that could be put into a PDF, could be, I mean, it's vast. So there's a lot sitting there. But what
How
I
many
did,
days? It was
103 days worth.
Wow.
It's a lot of content, yeah. But what I did was I played around with a couple of them where I read, so you didn't see me, it was faceless, but I just read the daily Unstick Your Stuck, and I really liked that.
Okay,
However,
so audio.
I did get feedback from a couple of my diehard community that they really like to see me. So there's a toss-up. There's a toss-up though, because they want to see me because they know me. But if you didn't know me, how would you feel about just listening to my voice? So there's 2 options there.
Okay, that is really interesting to me because fashion is visual, right? And that's and it's a physical product, and the mental is more in your head and doesn't require as much and so audio and I'm thinking meditation clips, and I'm thinking, okay, so let's just put that as a pin in that. We might be able to talk about that a bit more in the prescription stage, after party and natural entrepreneur, but let's put maybe meditation. Okay. Because that is a very marketable piece from a business perspective. When you have a knowledge product, it's you want to try and be collecting and nurturing your audience, building your audience. When the thing with socials is, like, when you're working, you've experienced what it's like to collect an audience on WhatsApp. Typically when we're using like Facebook pages or TikTok or Instagram, people are floating by, and what we want to do is just stop them. It's like they're at a market, they're walking by, and you can't stop them. You have to try and catch them when you're going by. But when you collect people into some sort of container that you can then nurture them and provide value and like things around which they're interested, that allows you to move, essentially nurture them towards a sale. It's not intent, like you are a person who serves, and that's why I help people who actually serve, and provide a transformation to clients. Because as they go up through your offer ecosystem, actually didn't get back to this, but as they go up from the free to low to signature to elite offers, you're increasing the amount of time you're physically or directly interacting with them, but their transformation is increasing. And because their transformation is increasing, the value is increasing. So as you go up your offer ecosystem, your price goes up, but the transformation value to your client goes up, but you want it to all be the same kind of transformation. So when you do your free clips, your free drops in the group, your daily unstick your stucks, or have a downloadable meditation, something like that, then that's just the free Costco sample that kind of gets them in the door, that lets them, learn how to know, like, and trust you, that builds confidence, that opens their mind and helps them at a time when they maybe couldn't be helped. And then your other, low signature and elite offers, they're there to kind of, I like to go to the signature offer next, because in your case, that's not fleshed out. And that's probably the most important piece. Like, there's all sorts of goodies, and the goodies are kind of that you like to do are indicative of like how you want to run things and how you like to collect people and how you like to interact. But I want to know a little bit more about how you see actually putting forward. Now, I know you don't have, so I've heard you say something about maybe a course, but also a subscription community. Can you talk about your ideas about that? And then I can contribute a little bit there.
Yeah. So in my mind, I see it as possibly Unstick Your Stuck being the free or the low ticket.
Okay.
So maybe two parts to Unstick Your Stuck, where you have the kind of inviting them in and giving them an idea of what lies on the other side. And then possibly a little bit upped in the low ticket. And then potentially to move to the toolbox in your head as part of Unstick Your Stuck.
Okay.
Subscription based. Because the toolbox is where the real magic can happen.
Okay, so is that, how do you see them proceeding through the toolbox? It's like, here's your toolbox, go have fun. Or is it, do you take them through and in the coaching?
I take them through. So there's 12 definite tools, and
Perfect.
there's a whole thing where you go through, expunging. So you build this virtual toolbox in your head and you expunge the negatives and you start filling it. And just to give you an idea, the very first tool is fear or faith.
Okay.
And then I take them through how we are so geared to fear around everything, and how do we flip that fear into faith. So it's not religious, it is,
but
is
confidence.
Life. Yeah, it's
having faith in yourself, right? Okay. No, this makes perfect sense to me. Okay, so before I want to dive into each of those, because I think there's a lot of juicy stuff there. But if you had your druthers as someone who is already inspirational and who like, folks, I'm telling you, like, Hayley, tell them how when you drop a piece, a fashion piece, how they respond. Like you literally get hundreds of people saying, like, tell us about that. Like you're a thing.
Well, it comes down to it's what I always say, when you serve authentically, then you never have to sell anything. And what I've built into that kind of maybe sets me apart is that I'm not all about sale, sale, sale. I believe that if you serve, you never have to sell. And if you just go for it and you story tell, so I take them on a journey, the whole journey around it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fun, and I get them invested in the whole story. So it's not just where I'm arriving on camera and I'm going, here's a top, buy it.
Right. No, of
I'm
course
taking
not.
I'm taking
That's
them on
the
that whole
magic. I was
journey.
like, how did you do that? And that I think that's it. Okay, so if that's great. And so inspiration can be shared in a number of ways, and you've developed a community and have become a leader in that realm. Do you see yourself doing speaking engagements or podcasts, or what kind of level in Hayley's perfect world with no limitations, what would you love to wake up to in the morning and go do to inspire?
I would love to do speaking. I think that
Okay.
that would be the kind of the cherry for me, is to be invited to speak about this. But it's also, there's so many things to measure it by. So when I go live every Saturday morning at
Okay.
8:15 South African time. And I try and make sure I'm on time. Well, I mean, I am, unless something completely untoward happens. But I have an ability to separate. So there's
Okay.
me doing the whole, sorry.
No, I just need to ask you, when you go
Yes.
live, where is that? Is that on Spotify? Like, how do
No,
people find you?
it's Facebook. It's on
Okay.
the Hayley Joy shop Facebook page. So it's the fashion page.
Okay. Okay.
But there's a lot more than fashion that goes on there. There's life
I'm
coaching.
hearing that. Okay. Hayley Joy. I gotta make a note here. Hayley Joy fashion page. Okay.
So the Facebook page is Hayley Joy Shop.
Okay.
It was just because Hayley Joy wasn't available, so we just added shop in there.
So Hayley Joy Shop.com. No, or just though that's the name of the Facebook page. Okay, I gotcha. All right. Yep. Okay. So you're doing lives on there, and
yeah, and I'm able to separate, and I'm me, but then there's the business side of me that is monitoring the numbers.
right.
Because the numbers, at the end of the day, the numbers are really important. Two things stick out for me. They join me at 8:15. Sometimes I go for an hour and a half. I actually don't, I'm having so much fun with them that I actually don't realize how long it's gone. They're all there. The number doesn't change. The amount of people there doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge for me. Like realizing that I'm able to keep, and the reason for that is because I'm not hard selling. I'm
Right.
doing a whole bunch of, I'm showing fabrics and I'm showing clothes, and then I'm talking about a life experience that I've had, and then I remember something and I tell them, and the feedback is incredible. I get the most wonderful feedback. Now what's happening is on a Friday night, I'm getting messages saying, hi, just checking what time your show's on tomorrow.
Well, and that's the raving kind of fans that you want. So, okay, and we're gonna kind of move into the section here. So I really do see what you have just articulated thing. I think probably there's some details missing at like what these specifically look like and what it contains. But I think the basic outline of having, your Facebook community as a collector with a downloadable just to start a downloadable or subscribable materials, like maybe a list of all of your Unstick Your Stuck materials in a Pinterest list, and a downloadable a landing page where they can download a meditation for their contact information, and then moving into Unstick Your Stuck, where it's a subscription community, probably is my take, where you have premium like, you know, you have lives in the Facebook community maybe once a week, and you're giving them value and tips, but then you're doing a detailed coaching session with you know, hot seat coaching sessions with people on Zoom that then go into as content, premium content in your subscription community, tools, resources, you know, all sorts of maybe mini courses, deep dives on skill topics. All those things can be contained in the container of a subscription community, which can be also linked to, you can have an affiliate program to help you share that, so that people benefit when they share that this wonderful community that you're building. So I'd talk about that. We can talk a little bit more in the prescription session and the after party and natural entrepreneur about how to go about that. I think the toolbox in your head, when you said 12 weeks, I'm like, perfect, because that to me is a 12-week program. You have where you're going from, where you're going to, you have your modules laid out, you have a quick video explaining the concepts and what the tool is you want to work. You do a couple scenarios, examples, maybe a PDF of a workbook for them to work through. Bob's your uncle, you've got a 12-week program in a course container that not only you can have available, like you can package it with your other products. So you can have your course in your community and do a bundle price there, or you can, you know, if you, I actually could even actually see you doing events, like a skill event, a workshop on negativity, a workshop on that fear and faith as the first step, you know, a workshop on some of the common pain points that your clients have, that you know that these are your people that need you, and you're giving them value first, and then you're presenting them with the opportunity to take it deeper. So I would, yeah, an event is probably something, and because you like speaking engagements, that seems natural to me as well. So, and that's why I call myself the natural entrepreneur, because I like to design the business around the natural tendencies that the person has to fit in their life. You have a busy business. You can't always, you know, like you need to be able to have it structured in a way that works for you. So, but I would like to see these speaking engagement things. We'll have to flush that a little bit more. So so we're going to talk a little bit more about how to develop these things in the prescription section. But when I look at this as an offer ecosystem, I think it's a very healthy offer ecosystem. I think you have a super strong why. I think you have, your offer needs a clarification. I know your marketing skills are awesome. I want to take a look at your Unstick Your Stuck page, because I think you need to get some specific branding around this particular offer that maybe distinguishes it a bit from the fashion, but then also kind of links it. So it's common look and feel, but it's a separate product. You are a natural saleswoman because you don't sell. And you really understand people and their needs, and I know you deliver. So I really actually don't think that I think that probably the marketing, and maybe I'll just put a caveat in here, is like it's the branding piece that needs a little bit of help, and that's super straightforward, like once we get into it, and then the offer is really where you need the clarification on exactly what you're going to do, in which, for how much, and then how to position it. So this is the clear offer, is what really is the diagnosis here. Okay, so then I'm just going to take a quick look at tech. So tech wise, when you're looking at supporting an offer ecosystem like this, you can't do all these things all at once. I mean, you're already running a freaking, you know, really busy fashion business, and you know, you need the online stuff is supposed to be supportable by things that automate. So when you have a landing page for a workshop that can automatically send out all the emails and the Zoom links and all of the things, so that it's not a huge administrative burden, you already have the Facebook community and you have a pattern set up with content built out and distributed automatically by the system. When you have a landing page where people can go and download the meditations and collect their emails, when you have a place where they can, go and get their materials from Unstick Your Stuff, that's the kind of tech that in a client relationship management system, CRM software, will be good for you, but you want a CRM that does all the other things as well. And so I'll show you the one that I have in a minute here, but the Unstick Your Stuck community, that is almost like a school or Mighty Networks, but if you have the right CRM, you're going to get all of these all in one. And so I think that it's you can definitely go around and kind of Frankenstein your offer ecosystem into a bunch of different free softwares. You're managing a bunch of passwords. It's a bunch of hassle because it's not coordinated. You have to transport your contact lists between everything unless you're tech savvy and know how to do Zapier. There's a bunch of stuff that happens there. And so you want all this, you don't just in your car, you don't have a carburetor and a transmission and and then just expect them all to work together. You put them all together in one system and they function together in the engine. So that's what a good CRM will do to you. It brings together all of the pieces of your offer in a tech way so that you're not having to do all this extra administration. And, when people do sign up for your 12-week program, it hosts the course, but then it also allows them the landing page with a webinar to learn about it. So you're not having to have a million calls, and they can book a call after they've received the initial information. And then once they've onboarded, it sends them all their information, their tools and everything. So you don't even have to do any of that. So this is the kind of tech that I'm really, the speaking engagements are a little different. There could be a booking portal for you, a calendar where people could, you could make yourself available and they say, oh, I want Hayley Joy on this Saturday, at this event. And so they can book you. We could probably do something like that. But that's the kind of text. What did I say? I'm just going to write this in here so we don't forget. Let me just get this text thingy going. Come on. Okay, so this might be a calendar or a booking request form. This one would be, let's see here. This one is going to be a course platform and onboarding automations. And then this low ticket one would be your community, pest subscription community, and an affiliate program. And then this one would be, you've got this would be some landing pages with a CRM, like collection, a contact collection piece, really. And then, your marketing integration. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm just going to close this. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of it first so that we have that. Oops, hang on a second. Sorry, guys, just take a second. And I'll put this in the comments. So tell me while I'm doing that, those of you who are watching, I want you to give Hayley a sense of whether you'd be interested in doing something like, are you recognizing yourself in this? And how would you feel about taking a course like this? What would you want inside of it? A lot of the times I recommend at the beginning of a product, a knowledge product that, and you've already started to do this sort of working with beta clients, is that you kind of jump in and say, I'd like to help a couple of people work through this. And so, and at the end you get testimonials. Have you had many testimonials for your work video clip wise?
No, not video clips. So I've had lots of text, and then obviously in person, where they've come in and said, oh my word, I listened to you last night and it resonated so much for me. But I know that one of the most important things is to collect those kind of testimonials.
Right. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you some of the tech that I'm talking about here. So firstly, I would say it's super easy with a CRM to integrate your Facebook, your Instagram, your WhatsApp. Everything can go all into this the system where basically you create a calendar of posts, you use, you're all the rage with the AI, right? So you could create a bunch of content and then just basically program it in, and it'll distribute it for you. So you don't have to do your posts. It does it all for you across all of your platforms. Not only that, when you push it out to all of your platforms and people start commenting on it, you can start to collect all those conversations all back in one place. You don't have to switch from platform, but try and keep track of everything. It all comes together all in the contacts. Now, I'm not going to open my contacts for privacy reasons, but when you have a contact in a client relationship management system, it tells you if they downloaded the meditation, if they signed up for the event, if they, it tells you where you could tag them, so that, oh, these are all my event folks, and these are all the people who signed up for my 12-week program, and these are all my coaching clients, so it lets you keep track, and then at a push of a button, basically send an email to everybody. And you can also set up automations so that, everybody who went to that event last week that was on fear and faith, now in a month from now automatically gets an email. Hey, how did that go for you? Have you applied any of these tools? And what would you think about, coming into the subscription community? And so it kind of nurtures people along without you having to do anything. You just set it up and let it run. So say again?
It sounds like heaven.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So then the other thing I wanted to show you was the piece around the communities and the, geez, my computer's slow today. Around the community and the course, but we can probably get into that in the prescription session. Why don't we just do that? Well, we're coming up on time anyway. So we'll get into a little bit more about the details on Hayley Joy's content in the prescription afterwards. But Hayley Joy, I am so honored that you were here today to explore this. And I hope that you felt like this was helpful in structuring your thoughts and ideas and seeing how you could actually get your business structure together around this for a knowledge product. You got it hands down for the physical product. How did you feel about this?
You know what it did? It opened me up to, I think where I'm at right now is I'm in that closed fear space around, I don't know where to start. And what you have is the step-by-step, the automation, because I don't even know where to go in that, because on the fashion side, I just do everything on the run, on the fly, on a whim. I don't automate anything there. Probably I should be dropping a post every day on the Facebook page, but I don't, because if I'm not in the mood today, I just don't do it. But for this part of Unstick Your Stuck, what you've shown me is that if you take it through those stages, and then it's not rocket science, Hayley, but when you're a multi-potentialite like me, you're having 5,000 ideas a day. If I have a system that consolidates those ideas and reins me in, because it is the tech side. So I'm the side, Hayley the hurricane, and then there's this grounding thing. That's what I need, because that's the only way I'm going to take it out to the world.
Well, and it lets you scale, because as much as you care enough that you would literally talk with every client, there's a point in your offer ecosystem at which you have to focus, you have to focus your time and energy. And if you're going to take this global, for example, you need to be able to scale. And you need to build a team, and that all comes eventually, but you have to automate. And so it's like when you're running around the home and you got the laundry on, and then you put the dishwasher on, you can have all the idea, oh, I need to go do this now, I'm just gonna put this on. You can let it run. And that's what this system essentially does for you, is it lets you kind of capture your multi-potentials and just set it into something, and okay, you run that for me. It's still you, it's still authentic, it's still your stuff. It just takes care of the things that are repetitive, or that takes care of nurturing things until at times it actually does need your actual touch, because your time's valuable too.
Also that it gets it done, because if it's left to me and I'm running in 15 different directions, today's going to go by and tomorrow's going to go by and nothing, and then it'll be the end of the week and I'll be like, I was supposed to post on Monday. So yeah, the automation thing it's very important for somebody like me. Just saying.
I think maybe that's why I love you so much, because like I so get that. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to see you next in the after party, where we're going to talk about some of the prescriptions just for a short bit. But really, I mean, it's been a joy, Hayley Joy. Thank you so much for being here today and being on ENTV and being the star that you are for all of us.
Thank you to ENTV. Thank you to you. Yeah, my head's buzzing.
I get it. Okay, so we'll talk in a minute. I'm gonna say goodbye to these folks, and hey guys, Hayley Joy is gonna go in and drop in the comments some links or places that that you can get a hold of her, maybe her fashion page live that you can catch, and her Facebook group, the Chasing Flowers. I'd love to see that one. So yeah, watch for her in the comments. Okay, thanks, Hayley Joy.
Thanks everybody. Bye.
So you guys, wow, I just love, and even experienced business people, especially experienced business people who are multi-potentialized, like, oh, million idea before breakfast, $1 million idea, and they want to actualize that, but they need somebody to do that. I definitely would love to help you with that. If you are someone who would love to have an offer ecosystem assessment and a little planning session like this for yourself, for your own idea, for your own business. Maybe it's not Unstick Your Stuck. Maybe it's, your journey with cancer and how you manage that. Or maybe it's like asphalting. I know I'm really good at asphalting the driveway, and I have all the tools and everything. And you need to know how to do this properly and you feel passionately about something, or you've had 20 years in the healthcare business and you want to impart your knowledge to, up and coming people who are just entering the fields, stuff that never gets taught in school. The pragmatic, sort of real life stuff that, as either a passion, a learned lesson, or a skill set. And we can package that all up for you into an offer ecosystem that makes sense, and support it with the tech that makes it easy. So if you would love to have a private assessment of your own, I'd be happy to do that. I'll drop my booking link in the comments. It's a matter of filling out a form. It takes about 45 minutes. You pay a little fee, but it's well worth it, because you walk away with a map of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it with what support. So would love to support you on that. And if you want to maybe even be on the show, there's a way to win a spot. Normally we only have my co-creator programs. I can actually help you build your business in 12 weeks after we get your offer ecosystem assessment done. We can actually build it out in 12 weeks, have it functioning, build your audience, and have everything get going in 3 months. So there's that. If you want to kind of come on the show and just express your offer and really promote your offers and what's in them, you can win a spot, though, if you're not in my co-creator program or here in the ENTV as an Academy member like Hayley Joy. You can win a spot by entering your elevator pitch into the Natural Entrepreneur Pitch Perfect marketing contest. So you get to basically leave your video business card permanently and promote yourself for 3 minutes, saying what you do as your marketing statement. And then you tell us in a little bit about your target audience and your offer. And the community and Natural Entrepreneur says, okay, which marketing statement was the coolest, quickest, most succinct, and most accurate representation of the business that they're trying to represent? So it's a great way to brush up your skills on camera, great way to promote yourself. And then you can win a spot here on Natural Success Clinic. So I want you to come to the after party if you are in Hayley Joy's position, where you have an offer in mind. It's been coming back around. You want to get it done. You can't spit it out, and you need help. So yeah, this is not for people who are not entrepreneurs or want to move forward seriously in their business, but it's a great coaching session, and we'll be starting it soon. So we might be a little late starting, maybe 3:10, 3:15, because I wanted to give this a proper attention and thought that Hayley Joy needed, and I will do the same for you when you book your offer ecosystem assessment. Because when you have a business that's natural, your life lights up. It's fun, it's authentic, quick, you get money out of it, and you genuinely change people's lives. You are serving people with what they need, and you matter. Your dream matters, your skills matter. So when you're a natural entrepreneur, you're a natural success. Don't forget it. And I'd love to see you over in the natural entrepreneur group for the after party. See you guys next week. Bye.